Hey guys, this is Fang /RWBY here, coming at you with a new video. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing about our thoughts on RWBY Volume 9. And just in case you guys are wondering, of course, I wouldn't have done this video without the RWBY tuber that I'm dating.
Hi.
And she hates being called that.
You can't blame me!
Because unfortunately with RWBY, it's one of those things that if you call yourself a fan of it, especially with how the fan base can be, or like if you call yourself a RWBY tuber, sometimes that's like literally like wearing a dunce cap.
Yeah.
But this isn't going to be us crapping on the RWBY fandom. Trust me, there's enough videos
out there for that. Yeah, I was gonna say there's enough videos out there for that. I'm not stepping into that cesspool.
Plus, like I always said, I don't give a crap what any fandom thinks about my opinion.
Yay.
So, but yeah, if you're new here, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell button. And let's get started here. So obviously going into this, both of our expectations was low.
All because of Volume 8.
All because of Volume 8 being crap. And we both agreed we weren't going to watch it. We were going to get spoilers.
Yeah,
from, what's his name? Phoenix.
Yeah.
But then, what changed all that was that I started hearing a bit more from Mizuki here about what was going on, like how possibly the rest of the night was John and all that. And that piqued my interest, but I'm like, I'm still gonna wait.
All because I was watching Phoenix's videos slightly.
But then, the moment that they definitely dragged on for a little too long, finally happened.
Oh yeah, the bumblebee.
Yeah, my only rule when it came to if I watched Volume 9 was that I wanted Bumblebee to happen in that volume.
Yep.
I've gotten sick of them teasing it, and it's like, oh my god, just freaking do it already. And some might say, wait, I thought you crapped on Bumblebee in the past. There's a big difference. I crapped on the shippers.
Yeah. He actually likes the ship.
I actually like the ship. Do I agree that it should be canon? That's up to debate. And again, that's not the point of this video.
No, we're talking about Volume 9.
And I will admit, the moment between Blake and Yane was cute.
It was adorable with how they did it. It was cute.
Yane was being her typical dorky self.
And trying to be stubborn, but...
Yep.
That kind of backfired.
Immediately. And you know what also amazed me too was John's design. That's the closest thing we ever basically have to what a possible what John's father possibly could look like.
Yeah, I know. Plus he had his wolf tail that they should have given him to begin with. But I'm not gonna get into that. But it was funny. It was funny though when they like when Team RWBY saw that it was Jean as Rusted Knight.
Yeah. I basically took that scene as that all four of them were kind of interested, but Weiss was extremely interested.
Oh yeah. Looks so. And Weiss comes in mature.
And if that didn't add more possible proof, I do think that John is probably going to end up with Weiss. I don't know what will.
I hope him and Weiss do end up together because, good God, they need it.
Yeah. And you know, and like even the story itself was pretty decent. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's as good as the first 3, or possibly the first 4, but
it was really good.
See, I think part of that is because they focus mainly on Team RWBY and just John.
That's
if you
true.
Notice, have you noticed most other volumes that has been, you know, kind of that terrible?
It's the ones where they don't focus on Team RWBY a lot.
No. It's where they're focusing on too many characters all at the same time.
Yeah, that. My bad.
I don't know if I'm the only one that's noticed that.
I actually noticed that when they kept switching between perspectives in Volume 7 and did that even more in Volume 8.
And because not everyone is a good writer, but if you can make something that seems terrible into gold, then, you know, you get where I'm coming from with
yeah,
this, right?
yeah.
Because I don't want to diss Star Wars, but dialogue in Star Wars is definitely not Oscar awarding at all. However, George Lucas and Lawrence Kasdan, I hope I'm saying his name right.
It's okay.
Both of them are very competent writers, even though during the prequels people thought George Lucas basically lost it, when no, it's just that you didn't get it.
Yeah.
But that's where with RWBY is that the big problem with a lot of Western animation is that, unlike with anime, to where it has a stronger impact, a lot of our animation doesn't meet the same level of critical success.
This is true. You aren't wrong on that.
The only ones I can think of on the top of my head that has is obviously Avatar: The Last Airbender.
God, that's such a good show.
But The Legend of Korra, from what I've heard, was disappointing. And much like with RWBY, they basically did a full-on 180.
Yeah.
With who, you know, the final pairing was. Again, I don't know about that because I haven't seen Korra. I've just started Avatar, so.
Yeah, that's true. I just heard about it. But, anyway, back to Volume 9. The fact that they was... Okay, for those that don't know, they fell from what, is his name Ambrosius?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. I'm gonna call him a genie, because that's what they remind me of.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty much the relic of creation genie.
Mm-hmm.
They fell off his bridge that he was helping, that they had him help make, that way the people of Atlas could get safe to Vacuo. the fact that they fell down in there and somehow managed to land in this place that was in a book that Blake had read as a child was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, they quite literally was in Wonderland, in a RWBY version of Wonderland.
Yeah, because I know me and Babe both are gonna hate mentioning this character, but the fucking cat.
You had the caterpillar. You had the, instead of there being the Red Queen, there was the Red Prince.
Prince, yeah. Which, originally it was the Red King, but his, according to the Red Prince, his dad disappeared.
You are the father. And the comedy was pretty good because there's a point that Yane gets her arm back after it being stolen, and like she's about ready to pummel someone.
Yeah. And then when she gets her arm back, she holds it up in the air and waiting for the rest of her team to high five it, and they just walked right by her.
Yeah. And now obviously this is unscripted, so if we're jumping all over the place,
that's why, but it's fine.
Yeah. We might not talk about everything in here, but we'll
do
a lot of the bigger points.
We'll do our damnedest.
Which,
oh god.
Let's get this one out of the way, because this was something that both of us has been kind of wanting them to reveal more since Volume 5.
Yeah, go ahead.
We got more Team Stark background.
Oh god, yeah, I was so happy about that.
And they basically proven my theory about Raven Bronwyn.
Yeah, they technically did.
She has regrets about leaving. You can see it.
Oh.
And like, I was expecting Summer to basically be similar to RWBY in terms of personality, like being hyperactive. Obviously too, like, people may point out, but she's a lot older. I know. But I was expecting a lot of
similarities.
Similarity with RWBY. I was shocked, but then that could be also because possibly Raven and Crow and Ty possibly, some of their personality traits
rubbed off onto
her.
Yep.
Like that very feisty response back to Raven.
Oh yeah.
Raven showed concern. That's a total Raven thing to do.
Yeah.
Is to be snarky back to someone.
Yeah.
And the fact that Raven was the one that took Summer to Salem, that proves another one of my freaking theories.
That Raven was there and saw what happened.
And that is why she yes, she already went away before then, but something still happened. I'm sorry, I don't buy the whole, well, she abandoned her husband and her daughter, went off to the freaking Brahmin tribe.
No, something happened.
And if nothing happened and that's what it is, then my god, that's such a stupid story decision. That is so cliche. That is so typical American writing in her.
I mean, you aren't wrong. You are not wrong on that one, sir.
And, you know, and like, what happens is, you know, Ruby gets mad about that because she finds out, like, basically what she knew was a lie. Raven knew. And the fact that it's going to cause issues between Raven and Yang again, because Yang never knew.
Well, it's also going to cause issues with Yang and possibly the rest of her team again, because Yang still is the only one that knows that Raven's a maiden.
Yep. They are a self-fulfilling prophecy right now. They claim that they're not going to be like Ozpin and keep secrets, and yet here they are.
Ruby kept the secret from Ironwood, and Yang's keeping one from her team about her mother.
Which is why I don't understand why there are Ruby fans that hate Ironwood, because it's like, here's the thing. If Ruby would have told him straight off, maybe he wouldn't have gone cuckoo to the head.
And killed Jocks.
Yeah. Well, was being power hungry anyways.
Yeah.
Now Jocks is one of those, I like to call it can of worm sort of things, because
I seriously think he was going to have a redemption thing, because after Weiss told him off, he had a sudden realization, like, no, not Weiss, Winter told him about what Weiss did. He started having, like, second thoughts on shit he'd been doing.
Yeah. And that's one of my biggest complaints about RWBY, is that they try to make their villains into these evil people, and it's like, well, let me reword that. Any sort of interesting villain in RWBY, or a possible, like, minor villain, which I do consider Jocks a minor villain.
Yeah, because he was only minor for one volume.
He was basically he was the semi-boss.
Yeah.
The main boss.
Yeah.
And that's one of my big problems with RWBY, is the fact that they never allow any sort of villain have these moments like, oh crap, I'm on the wrong side. Now, obviously, some people may point out, like, well, Emerald and Neo. I'm talking about the major villains of the show. So, like, Cinder, Watts, Tyrion, Salem, etc. And you know what? Even Adam got kind of screwed over.
Yeah, I was about to say, Adam could have had a redemption arc.
There are many people that we know that has disagreed with me that Adam could have been redeemed. And it's like, well, ironically enough, the freaking showrunners of RWBY even said that he could have been redeemed. They chose not to.
Yeah, they chose not to because the people...
Why? No. Why? I'm not going to bring anything up, but look at the climate here in America around that time and what was starting.
Oh, yeah, that, yeah.
You know, I will never talk about politics on my channel. That's as close as I'll get to talking about it.
Yeah, that...
But if you know, you know.
I know. I know now after you say that.
And... you know, with Volume 9, the cat was a pretty interesting villain.
Yeah, very much so, because I remember when we was watching it, we was like, oh, the cat's cool, because the cat's actually helping them.
If only we knew.
If only we knew by the time we got to later on in the volume.
Yeah.
That cat's a conniving little bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the first person that came through there who wrote the book, the cat originally offed, I'm not going to say any of the words that's not supposed to be said on YouTube or Twitch, literally offed the cat, no wait, it was Lawrence the one that wrote it. The cat literally offed his sister. Pretty much.
Yep.
All because they couldn't keep their promise to the cat and help the cat get out of the world.
Yep, and there's this whole, even though that the main point of the arc of the season, the volume is to get out of there, there's also this mini arc, this mystery that they're trying to solve, like, you know, who was Alex?
Yeah.
Who really was the person that wrote this book? Was she a really bad person or not? And, you know, obviously with that cat being based off the Cheshire's cat from Alice in Wonderland, we all know how that cat is. He speaks in false truths
and riddles.
Half truths, false promises, etc. That's how he is.
And I remember when Ruby and them first mentioned the cat around John, and John immediately got upset, said not to go nowhere near that cat anymore.
And they wouldn't listen to him.
No, they wouldn't listen to him because, funny thing, was John, he arrived before they did, and went through a full-on time skip and became the rest of the night. So he originally helped Alex and her brother and them with their journey first as the Rusted Knight, and Ruby and them met up with him after all that happened.
Yep. And that was another thing that was cool about the volume, was that you actually saw tension between the group.
Yep.
You actually saw them have a bit of a fallout, which was a big complaint with RWBY fans, was that RWBY was getting zero development. There's no tension. It's like, you know, okay, RWBY, whatever you say. Okay, RWBY, whatever you say. Okay, RWBY, whatever you say.
Okay, baby. Pretty much, yeah. And then...
Oh, look. RWBY wants us to jump out of that cannon. Okay. It probably won't work, but okay.
But yeah, that
sum up.
That pretty much...
Does that basically sum up?
Yeah.
Gone.
But with this volume, they had RWBY going through a major lot of emotions. Holy shit. She was going through a lot of emotions.
And I couldn't help, like, seeing that was uncomfortable, but I did kind of get a little bit of, like, RWBY did say something that I'm sure that a lot of RWBY fans were thinking when it came to Blake and Yang's sort of relationship, when she looked at them and said straight out, like, oh, you know, we're so happy for you.
Yeah, she was sarcastic as hell about that.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here going, oh shit.
So it's kind of interesting how they approach a lot of the criticism that a lot of RWBY fans had.
Yeah.
With the show. Because it seems like they definitely had a checklist on what they should approach and all that. And even with the cut epilogue of Volume 9, where you see like Vacuo and all that, and then of course the biggest WTF moment happens to where, oh look who brought them.
It's Raven.
And she's smiling at Crow, not one of her, fake smiles.
Mouse, yeah.
That she always had. It was a true blue smile, which means there's a chance that she could have picked up Tai.
This is very true.
Now, obviously, there's one more elephant in the room that we need to talk about.
And what's that?
RWBY goes into a house, and you see various pictures of Neo's life. Then you get one woman, and then we got to see and hear Roman one final time.
Yeah.
Now I still subscribe to the theory that he's most likely still alive because Grimm don't have digestive systems.
Which we learned about in the book when Coco got ate by one.
But it was really cool to see Roman again, and like seeing all the people that are no longer alive, like seeing like,
yeah,
even like Pyrrha and even using Penny.
Yep. Neo went full blown. Yeah.
And that was another flaw too, is that I get why she went after RWBY, but I'm saying here like she should have went after Cinder.
Yeah. But there's a possibility if Volume 10 ever gets greenlit, there's a possibility she might do that now.
Yeah, because she became one with the tree, which is what happened to RWBY, and basically what happens is you see a more reformed RWBY and all that. And what's interesting though too, which this is why we need to watch the Justice League RWBY crossovers. I don't know why we haven't watched them yet.
We need to.
Because we keep mentioning it. They actually show a little bit of their life in Vacuo. RWBY has became very cocky.
Yep.
And anyways, I'm sorry for if there was a cut and all that, but basically Discord kind of, well,
it yeeted me.
Itself.
It yeeted me.
So basically, RWBY gets extremely cocky in Vacuo and all that. And Yane shows concern, which is ironic because Yane has a habit of getting cocky.
Yep.
So we do see a bit of her life after Vacuo, and all I gotta say is I approve of their superhero outfits. I find it hilarious.
RWBY has her hair up in a ponytail.
And Blake is not a faunus in that world either, from what I can tell.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. It's kind of weird to see.
There's a point to where quite literally, when Blake notices it, she starts freaking out.
Okay, I bet you that freak out's adorable as fuck.
Probably, knowing Blake.
Yeah, knowing Blake, yeah, probably.
And that's why, too, like, when it comes to Volume 10, I want it. I really do, but I know they're going to have to write a lot of different characters. And we all know in the past, that's where, in my opinion, RWBY just doesn't do well. Is when they have all these large assortment of characters together.
This is very true.
And you know, it's a shame too because, you know, we're going to be seeing Team Coffee again in animation form. We're going to be seeing Team Sun. Heck, we may even see Cardin's team.
Is all of Cardin's team still alive?
I believe so. They might be. I don't think they're reported, you know, our IP.
I'll have to fact check that.
But what's interesting though too is that when they appear in Vakuo, you see all these various ships, and you actually see ships from Menagerie there too.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes along with the whole thing, like that I do think that Gira was about ready to head over to back him up. You know, it's going to be great seeing Glinda again. It's going to be, you know, there's so many characters that we haven't really seen in a long time. It's going to be great to see them again.
This is really true.
But at the same time, though, too, I'm like, they can't handle writing a lot of characters.
This is also very sad but true.
And basically, after Ruby gets reborn, she ends up kicking the cat's butt. The cat ended up, the cat leaves Neo's body, and if I remember correctly, I believe it was Neo that did the final blow.
Yeah, it was, because Neo got pissed for the cat taking over her body.
And she basically bowed to Ruby and them, probably complimenting them for beating her and all that, and she ended up becoming one with the tree, which made me sad.
Then she pulled a Mary Poppins, pulled out her umbrella, went down and became part of the tree.
And of course we cannot talk about a character that I'm pretty sure Babe here has adopted.
The little rat.
Mouse.
The little mouse.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't help it, the mouse is adorable!
Yeah, you weren't Ruby there, by the way.
I'm sorry, it happens. But yes.
Little, also known as Somewhat, and funny enough, Somewhat, formerly known as Little, ends up being also reborn, and the little mouse basically has a similar design to Ruby.
Yeah, I know, it's so cute. I adopted Little. Ah!
And you know, but yeah, you know, I enjoyed Volume 9.
I did as well.
We still need to watch Ice Queendom, and we still need to watch the Justice League RWBY crossover stuff. But I'm sure we will, especially when she moves up here and all that.
Yeah.
So, if you all have enjoyed that video, well, this video, you all know what to do. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Later, guys.
Bye.